I haven't traveled as much as you. I think one of your last YouTube videos, you've been to like 94 countries.
Yeah, 95.
So 95 countries at this point. But I've been exposed to Europe mostly, well, I guess Caribbean too. But traveling to those countries definitely changed, not say enhance my perspective, broaden my horizons, that like I now think through things differently. And I read a book, it's called Nomad, Capitalist. The author's from Cleveland, I think. Mm-hmm. But he says, I forget his name, but he says in the book, go to where you're treated best.
Yeah.
And I recognized after being other places for probably various reasons, but for the lifestyle I want to live, it's not going to be cultivated here in the United States. Like I know that now. I didn't know that before, but I've been exposed to different inputs. Those different inputs told me we need to make a move here. But one of those variables is cost of living. You said earlier, if you make around $35,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of like income earners in the world. You can't do anything in the United States with making $35,000. And if there's any global listeners for this, I do see foreigners coming into the United States thinking it's all rainbows and butterflies. I want to make all this money, but there's an exchange there. Like you got to pay for a place to stay, which is going to be expensive. Cost of living is going to be a lot.
Transportation,
like there's no public transportation, not even in large metro areas. There's a couple things that are just really expensive right off the bat. Place to stay, roof over your head, and transportation. You either gotta buy a car, expensive, pay for insurance, expensive, pay for a ride share, expensive, because there's no public transportation. So cost of living, maybe just talk a little bit about what your experience of cost of living outside of the United States has been, and maybe if you want to go specifically to Bangkok and how that works for you.
So, in overall, the cost of living abroad just is, compared to the States, I like to try to be a contrarian, man. I try to find a way to make us look good, but we don't in any way, shape, or form, man. It's sad because every year it gets worse. Europe's not that much better now. Like, it's better, but it ain't as much better as it used to be, right. Especially Western Europe. Central, Eastern Europe is still doable, but Western Europe is just as bad as in the States in terms of inflation and income. I think one of the biggest things is, in America, we have this anti-socialist rhetoric when we refuse to acknowledge the goods and the bads with so many things, right? But it was so often capitalism is this, we got democracy, no socialism. And I'm like, no, socialism is the foundation of humanity. There are some things, if we're going to act like there are some things that are human rights, right? And I've always said human rights are not real. They're political buzzwords. Human rights only exist when there's force behind them. So if you don't have any power or force to enforce said rights, they're not real. They're just suggestions. And the U.S. is seeing that when you say, people should have a right to clean water. Not really. Not according to the U.S. government. People should have a right to education. You got a right to whatever education we say you should have.
Yeah, we tell you.
Right? If you want to become a doctor and help people, you're going to have to go into debt for 6 figures. And it's not that way. My best friend's wife is a doctor. One of the most brilliant women I've ever met. Speaks like 6 languages. She has her doctorate from Romania, which was free. And then she went to Sweden, where she's being paid significantly more. And went to Sweden, learned Swedish, took the exam, and then became a doctor in Sweden. You see this around the world where people are given free education, free healthcare, where governments subsidize things like rice, wheat, corn, certain kind of cattle, where the government understands that we have to ensure that people are educated, healthy. When you can go to a hospital because you broke your leg and you're not in debt for the rest of your life, that is quality of life. We talk about the cost of living, but we don't talk about quality of life. Everybody says cost of living, but not quality of life. The question is, I make under 6 figures now. I make under 6 figures. Before COVID, I made well over 6 figures. Under 6 figures, I am in a position where I can pretty much live anywhere in the world that I want, except for the United States of America. Because the amount of money I make in the U.S. would essentially be just eaten up in the States. But in Thailand, I am considered wealthy. When out here, people, I believe it's something like 500 baht an hour minimum wage or a day. It's low. Like, I have to look it up. I can't remember. It is low. What Thai people make is low. But they're some of the kindest, most welcoming people on the planet. There's 100% employment here. You don't see a lot of beggars on the street. You don't see a lot of drug addicts here. People are fed. They're happy. The community is amazing. That's why they call it the land of smiles. That's very real. It's because the government understands that if the people are taken care of, they have less work to do as a government. If people are healthy and happy, they don't have to deal with it. In the U.S., we're dealing with it in Skid Row and homelessness and inflation and, in crime and mass shootings. All of these things come into play when you talk about, for me, cost of living.
Yeah.
Because cost of living and quality of life are very similar. When I go out of my house, I never have to worry about somebody shooting me in the ass for my shoes. I don't have to worry about the police harassing me. I don't have to worry about the price of eggs. The public transportation from one side of the city into the center of the city costs $2 tops. It's capped at 62 baht, which is about $2 US. That's the cap. People are going to say, oh, well, you're a Westerner, you're a foreigner. It's different for you. Okay. You know what the Thai government did? They said, okay, for Thai nationals, for locals, it's 20 baht cap. So Thais pay 20 baht. And those of us who are here because of social economic privilege pay 62 baht. I'm like, bravo. Fair. Good. More than fair. More than fair. Absolutely how it should be. I see the same thing in Romania. I see it in South Africa. I see it in Chile. I see it around the world where the governments and communities and people understand that if we ensure the health and well-being of our people, it will benefit us all. And it feels like the U.S. is built for corporations to do whatever the hell they want. And it's nothing but at the expense of the American people. So my advice to you is get out as soon as you can, my friend, while you still can.
I'm working on it.
Be broke. And I'm like, be broke abroad, guys. I'm telling you, find a job where you can make $35,000 a year online, doing whatever, and move. Just leave. And once you get overseas, you're going to finally see, I don't have to worry about healthcare. I don't have to worry about buying a car and driving around. I don't have to worry about the cost of food. And when you take those things away, all of a sudden, you have a lot more money to do the things that you love and you care about.
If you enjoyed that clip, the full episode is available here. Go on, press it.